New England has had a deep history for blaming people for supernatural events, and today's story is no exception. Hi, I'm your host, Joe, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Any Last Words. Please make sure you like and subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss another episode. Over 200 people were accused and 19 were hanged during the 1600s in the Salem witch trials of Massachusetts. And 200 years later, they're now faced with vampires. In 1810, consumption was running rapid through the New England states as well as Europe, with entire families dying and doctors unsure of how to treat this mysterious new illness, but simply chalking it up to physical afflictions, as people walked around sucked up and looking like the undead until they died. But society just kind of chalked it up to, if your family died off, you were cursed. The media in September of 1884 published a front page story on accounts of vampire attacks and how people from all over the globe were conducting types of rituals on how to protect yourself and your family from these blood-sucking fiends. Now, what these people did, it's kind of weird to think that people would actually do this like in real life, but we've kind of heard about it in vampire movies and novels. Basically, if you were accused of being a vampire after you passed, your body was exhumed and several things would happen. If your body looked less decayed and more of a fresh body, bam, you're a vampire. So they had to do something about that. One thing we all kind of know from watching these movies and reading novels is they would drive a stake through your heart. Another thing that they would do would be to remove the head from the body. They would also turn the bodies to be facing the ground as to confuse the vampire and keeping it from escaping the grave. One popular method that they used was to remove the organs such as the heart and burn it. Several different things were done once the heart was removed. One would be to inhale the smoke as the heart would burn. Another would be to either eat or drink the ashes mixed with water. And these rituals, if you will, were thought to cure you from having consumption, which they didn't know it was consumption. They just thought that a vampire was slowly sucking the life force from your body and your family. So another thing they did was bloodletting. If you were sick and not quite dead yet, they would actually cut you open and let blood drain from your system, let the bad blood drain from your system, which didn't really help anything but speed up the process of dying faster. The most famous case in New Hampshire vampire history was in 1892 of a young woman named Mercy Brown. She was 19 years old when she died of consumption a few years after her sister and her mother had passed from it, leaving her father and I believe one sibling left as the only surviving members of the family. Since the town was still very much convinced that vampires existed because consumption was still going around, they convinced her father, George Brown, of exhuming her body to make sure she wasn't a vampire. Now, because Mercy died during the cold winter months, the ground was too frozen to dig, so they buried her in an above-ground crypt. Because of that, her body did not decompose like it normally should because it's cold. It's like putting a piece of chicken in the freezer and it just lasts longer kind of deal, so. And because she was so well preserved, she still had a lot of blood in her heart, which kind of made the town go, yeah, she's a vampire. She doesn't look so rotted and she's still got a lot of blood in her heart. She's a vampire. Let's take care of this, Georgie boy. Since that was all the proof that the town needed to handle this vampire situation, they went straight to it. Her brother Edwin had recently contracted consumption, so they figured this was her coming back to kind of suck the life out of her little brother and be able to continue living on. Whatever it was they were thinking, I don't fucking know. And the only way that they felt that Edwin was going to survive this vampire attack was to remove Mercy's heart, burn it, mixed the ashes with water, and let little Edwin drink it. Unfortunately, he died 2 months later from consumption, so apparently that shit doesn't work. Luckily for the town, that was the last case of consumption in the area. So it kind of died with, oh, that's kind of a bad way to say it, but I mean, it is what it is. The consumption kind of died with her. No one else contracted it. Her father didn't contract it. No one else, her neighbors didn't contract it. Now, what consumption is basically it's an upper respiratory disease, virus, illness, whatever you want to call it. And it was highly contagious and it was spread through coughing. So if you contracted consumption and you coughed, it was airborne. So if someone was next to you, close proximity, they had a really, really high chance of contracting consumption. At the time, consumption was so rampant. It was what was killing everybody at the time with, I believe it was a 25% mortality rate. It contributed to 25% of the deaths in the population. So yeah, it's kind of like what we've been going through the past couple of years. I'm just saying. Now, it's rumored that Bram Stoker actually used Mercy's story as inspiration for his 1897 novel Dracula, turning Mercy into Lucy, where Lucy becomes one of the undead by Dracula, and she was dug up and had a stake driven through her heart. And it's also said that Stephen King has used inspiration from this story to create his novel turned, I think it was a TV movie, Salem's Lot, which I do remember a few months back when I was doing a Creepy Kitchen episode that I mentioned that they were trying to redo Salem's Lot. We'll see what happens. You all know how I feel about remakes, reboots, and redos. Maybe it'll be good. I don't know. We'll see. Pet Sematary is shit. Just saying, the remake sucked. I'm just saying. So, and that's it. That's all I have to say about the New England vampire panic. So you guys let me know what you guys think in the description below. I love it when you guys leave comments. It always generates great conversation. And don't forget, again, to subscribe to my channel, hit the like button on this video, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode of Any Last Words. Now, before I go, I want you guys to check out this ad from Hack over at Hack's Horror Show. Check out the ad.
Madcap 3 Entertainment presents FrankenCon. On Saturday, May 14th, Joe Bob is back in town, and he's bringing Darcy the Mail Girl with him. And it's a Nightmare on Elm Street 2 reunion, as the Scream Queen himself, Mark Patton, will be on hand, along with Nightmare 2 and Hellraiser Bloodline star Kim Myers, and Nightmare 2, Alone in the Dark, and Wishmaster 2 director Jack Shoulder will all be in attendance. Along with Texas Chainsaw Massacre star John Dugan, aka Grandpa. As well as the rare appearance by Pumpkinhead, Society, and Silent Night Deadly Night Part 5 star Brian Brimmer. And get ready to rock with the horror band The Casket Creatures. And last but not least, Nigel Bach, Bad Ben franchise director and actor, will be gracing us with his presence. FrankenCon takes place on Saturday, May 14th at the Hilton Knoxville Airport on 2001 Alcoa Highway, Alcoa, Tennessee. VIP and general admission tickets on sale now at FrankenConTN.com. VIP tickets are limited and going fast and include activities like a full screening of Nightmare 2 with the live cast commentary. For more info on prices and activities, visit us on Facebook or Instagram at FrankenConTN or on FrankenConTN.com. See you on Saturday, May 14th for the first annual FrankenCon. Card subject to change.